Beniaku playing his high school ball as well in the States, member of Team Canada. It's going to be a good look at the future of basketball in the championship game.
Man, this is so exciting, and you could tell that they're enjoying this moment. They're a little bit nervous. There's some butterflies in their stomachs, but they know that this could be a defining moment in their life. This could be the moment when somebody take a look at them and really lay a path forward for their future. This is a big deal.
Patiently waiting the opening tip. Thrilled you're joining us throughout the world on the FIBA YouTube channel. And follow us utilizing the hashtag BWBGlobal as we conclude the 6th annual Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here in Chicago as part of NBA All-Star Weekend. The bleachers still getting filled with scouts from across the NBA.
And we have a temperamental shot clock on the left-hand side of the court. They've been trying to fix before the game gets started. There is a lot of technician over there making sure that this has been resolved expeditiously.
So we may just use one shot clock on the far end of the floor. That would be the front court right, as we and patiently wait for the opening tip to get underway, and monitoring the FIBA YouTube channel during the live stream over the course of this weekend. All parts of the world are glued to watching this global games, really to see the future from countries like the Philippines, Australia, Canada, Estonia. It's great to see. We've got Germany, Mali, Lithuania, Senegal represented in this game alone as the opening tip-off of the final game of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp is underway. The Bulls in the dark blue uniforms control the first possession. Tamare Wignes with a nice pass inside. Flying high was the Canadian Benedict Mathurin.
And Benedict Mathurin really starting off right where he left off in the last game. He has been playing at an amazing clip, really making a play for being the best player in this camp.
Knicks with their first possession, Kai Sotto. Quick dump pass to the Brazilian, and a corner three is off the mark from, we'll get that number again for you in just a second. That was 79, Owen Chu from China. Kai Sotto tried to dribble behind the back, lost possession, and the Bulls get it right back. Flying high, changing his direction, seeing Sotto was right in front of him, was Benedict Mathurin. That is difficult when you have a defender in front of you and at the last second you change the direction.
I mean, Benedict Mathurin, I think learning how to use his body in the air, that is a skill, again, that is so difficult to develop for young players, because you have to be able to anticipate what the defense is going to do and then counter while you're in the air. Pretty remarkable. I think he's really making a play for MVP of this camp.
14:30 left in this championship game. Wignes, aggressive, driving inside, had the ball stolen away from him, and instead they will rule a jump ball. Nice defense by Augustis Masciunonis from Lithuania, whose father is in the Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2014. With an outstanding career in the NBA. Inadvertent whistle, they'll reset right in front of the scores table. So the Knicks, in their second trip inside, intended for Sotto, off of his fingertips. They'll say last touched by the Bulls, and 57, Charles Bediaku.
And Sotto has to really drop his body a little bit and point towards the ground. He wants that ball low, not too high, where they can get a take on it.
Look out! That jam almost went through, but you heard the reaction from the crowd. That would have been something spectacular for Mathurin. You could just see the athleticism.
Benedict Mathurin, he's been playing at an amazing clip all weekend.
Shot clock was winding down, and they will rule a foul on Owen Chu. Owen Chu from China, number 79. He's 6 feet 9 inches tall. Was born back in July 1st of 2002. At the free throw line will be 57. Charles Bediaku from Canada, ranked 24th in the recruiting class of 2021 here in the United States. He trains the free throw. Experimental rules with free throws. One shot will equal 1, 2, or 3 points until the final minute of each quarter. And Kai Soto almost had the jam. There's Filipino fans in attendance here in Chicago who almost gave a standing ovation until they negated the dunk.
I'm not sure. I like that dunk. I like the fact that he was aggressive going to the basket. Might have been a little bit in the cylinder, but a really great attempt.
With the right hand, Muthrain missing. Here come the Knicks in transition. They trail 6-0. The young Lithuanian driving. That's off the mark for Marciulionis. Alley-oop attempt and drive it down. The easy jam, converting for Samuel Aribi, the Nigerian.
And Samuel Aribi, has been a feature at Basketball Out Border Camp, but he's part of the academy system. And I've seen his game really mature over the years.
Soft landing on the right-handed jam for Benedict Muthrain, and an immediate timeout. The Bulls utilizing their length and speed to burst out to a 10-0 lead with 11:32 left in this first half of play.
And when you call a timeout when you only have 2 for the whole game, that means that there is a problem, right? So this is, the Bulls came out and they have been playing at a pretty amazing clip. And now that, I think a little bit the Knicks has to respond to that. And I think it's good because this is the championship game. They've been playing all weekend. This is a chance for them to be seen by all these people who came out to watch them. And even all the other guys are now around the floor watching. Right. This is an homage to all the people that are here today.
Final game of the global camp here in Chicago. We'll name an MVP as well before we're out this afternoon. Looking back at MVPs from the past, 2019, you had Dani Avdija, who now plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Kai Soto, the Philippine sensation. There are Philippine fans here in attendance who know about Kai Soto, and there's his countrymen and women back home who are watching on the FIBA YouTube channel who I can hear the roars from across the globe. And
Kai Soto, that's a pretty difficult move, very skilled. Clearly, he is a pretty outstanding player with a good skill set. I'm curious to see what his career is going to look like and where he's going to go.
Evan Perisovic missing the 3, youngster from Croatia. Soto near the right baseline. Tried to post up the defender, and poking the ball out of play was Samuel Aribi. So the Knicks will get it right back. The running clock continues to move. 10:24 left in this first half. The youngster from China, Owen Chu, on the inbound. Juan Bagarain. Right wing 3, ring it up. One of the top recruits in the 2021 class, the Frenchman, Juan Bagarain. That's a name you're going to have to keep your eye on.
Yeah, Bagarain, you see him all through this weekend playing at a really high level, and now that he's seeing results where the ball is going into the basket.
6-point ball game, 12-6. Bulls with a 6-point lead. Knicks started to find their flow offensively. Chu missing a 3 from the left corner. Muthrain with the rebound. Almost tried to pass it to himself, it seemed, as he was going inside the lane. Muthrain step back. Won't give him continuation, but if he would have made that, whoa, wow.
You see this kid right now and where he can go. His upside is incredible. I am not sure we've seen it yet. He is going to be an intriguing player as his career unfolds.
SOTTO whistled for the foul, reach in on Charles Bediaku. 6-point ball game with 9 minutes to go in this first half. The Bulls have possession in the near court. Wiggness. Bediaku had it stolen away from him. Loose ball. It's recovered by the Bulls. Mothrain thought about the three. And we'll get a whistle for a foul. Final game of the tournament. All eyes are on the center court as we wind down the global camp here from Chicago. The full hockey line change coming in as both coaches want to distribute minutes evenly to these guys, knowing it's their final game of the camp.
And it's so important, right? Because a team is a team, and you want everybody to have an opportunity to impact the game. And I think it's important to have some parity in that.
Chedek Sao. Pass going cross court, catch and shoot three is off the mark for Todorovic. Second chance opportunity. That is short for Esteban Rocho, the youngster from Mexico.
And the Bulls are just being ferocious on the offensive glass and really giving their team second and third opportunities. That is, as a coach, that is just a sight for sore eyes.
Both teams being instructed by assistant coaches from both New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls. So when you got to tip your cap to the Bulls and their scouting here this weekend at the camp.
I feel like there is they have a comparative advantage. What do you think? Like home cooking?
Home cooking, I think so. I would agree with you there. And you had mentioned a couple of days ago about how intense the draft would be. Having seen it firsthand on Friday at the start of the camp, all of these coaches, their competitive juices started flowing. They wanted to pick the right group of guys and girls to turn out a victory.
Well, the funny thing is everybody start off, oh, we're all here for the kids and everything is great, which is true. There's no question. But somewhere along the line, the competitive juice kicks in and they all want to win and they want the best players. I've gotten texts like, who do you think? Who's your top three? I'm like, I'm paying for that. You need to pay for my services.
Bulls have possession with 7 minutes to go in this first half. Rocho. Todorovic, and the Serbian traveled. Think back to a fellow Serbian in this Basketball Without Borders camp, Nikola Mirotic, who now plays for Barcelona, spent time with the Chicago Bulls, a highly touted European talent. He's now playing for one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Nice soft jumper that sinks through for 47. Jackie Chu from China, 6'6" small guard, considered a wing. Great score.
An intermediate game is really on point. I mean, they're stepping into that, taking a 15-foot jump shot so big.
Elbow jumper off the mark for 77, Jerry Ngopat from the Central African Republic. Another turnover. Here come the Bulls on the other end. Rocho off contact, one-handed no, gets his own putback off the right glass.
And Rocho having the presence of mind, finish a shot. Don't really take your eye off the ball until the ball goes to the basket. Really basketball one-on-one, and he was on point there.
You think about Mexicans in the NBA, first to come to mind is Eduardo Nahara, who played with the Dallas Mavericks, and Rocho trying to carve his own path as a Mexican in professional basketball. He takes a spill and we get a foul. The NBA G League next year will have a professional team in Mexico, so that's really carving the path for young men and women in Mexico who are playing basketball.
And Nahara, we had some really good fights in my career. But, I mean, yeah, and I think it speaks to where the academy game is going. We're in Mexico. We have an academy team for Latin America, two in China, one in Australia, one in India, one in Senegal. So you can see the trajectory of the NBA trying to really take this game global in a quick way.
Great steal, unable to get the putback. A good job defensively by the young Dominican Juan Mateo, who's currently playing in an academy in Spain. He's a part of the NBA Academy Latin America. And I saw him earlier this morning in one of the scrimmage games. He picked up a rebound. He jumped off the floor. Some would say he's undersized as a guard, but the way he was grabbing those boards, he was competing with some of the guys who are 6'10", 6'11".
It's amazing. The athleticism of these guys is extraordinary. No matter the size, they compete and they have it all.
Ocho very aggressive through a double team. He's rewarded with a shooting foul. 4-point ball game as the Knicks started off cold here in the early going. Good job defensively, and they find themselves within striking distance down a point.
And that's talk about a tactical timeout, really getting them going, bringing them together, taking a moment, relax, getting them back into play. And since the timeout, have been extraordinary. Talk about the quality of coaching at the bench as well.
Ocho made his 2-point free throw. 6-point affair inside. We get a whistle, and they're going to call the offensive foul.
Oh, I have a second of opinion.
How difficult is that for a young big inside, where you don't want to give up that offensive foul, but you're still trying to create space and get positioning?
And I think part of what you want to look at as a referee is whether or not he displaced the player or he went down and created space. There's a difference between creating space and moving a player out.
Speaking of creating space, Moussa Diabate took a dribble and delivered a nasty two-handed jam. 8-point game. Montero missing on a contested look off the left glass.
And Montero, that was some hops on that play, really giving himself a really great chance of dunking that ball.
Nice finish inside. You can hear the hard slap, but a finesse by the 6'9" power forward from France, Moussa Diabate.
And Diabate, what was extraordinary about that move, it was a progression almost, where he went from, okay, I don't have this, let me go to the next one, let me go to the third. He had about 3 moves in that play. That is so extraordinarily difficult to do at this stage, where you're not only mastering your primary move, you're thinking 2-3 moves ahead. And that progression is what it takes to be an elite basketball player. And there's no question where you see a guy like that in a camp like this. He is pretty extraordinary.
10-point ball game as the clock continues to run as we approach 2 minutes to go in this first half. Final game of the global camp. Good job defensively by Montero to get the steal. And his aggression allows for a free throw to come up for the Knicks, and getting set to shoot the free throw will be no free throws. Instead, they'll award an inbound in front of the Knicks bench.
I thought there was definitely a free throw for sure.
Foul was Adama Sonogo from Mali.
And Sonogo had a little control of the ball just for a second, but I think they thought that he didn't have full control.
Late pass from Montero forces the turnover. As we approach the 1-minute mark here in this first half, the final game of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. And they're going to reset the clock to 1 minute. So the running clock stops at 1 minute. And it's back to the normal rules as Todorovic gets some separation. Jumper is short from the left side.
I thought you were going to say old-fashioned rules.
What a dunk inside from Sonogo from Mali. 6 feet, 9 inches tall, has been in the United States for a couple of seasons playing high school basketball. 8-point game. Final 30 seconds. Right corner, rainbow jumper. Off the mark, rebound, second chance, no. Hitting the deck was Diabate. Wanted a foul, doesn't get the call. Diabate wanted a whistle earlier, now is whistled for the foul.
And that was clearly a frustration foul. Diabate thought, I got fouled, I got hammered. And then, as most young players do, they instantly react. And the referee usually catch the second act, not the first.
At the free throw lines, the German Luke von Sluten, 17 years of age. Played last summer at the Basketball Without Borders European camp in Latvia. As he sinks the first free throw. A one-shot free throw after the final minute goes back to the traditional free throw methods as Van Slooten misses the second free throw. Great quickness by Orocho to find Chedek Sao with a fast transition bucket. 22-13 is our score. 4 seconds left and a final opportunity for the Bulls to close out the half. The Bulls will inbound in front of the Knicks bench. 4 seconds left. Van Slooten tried to steal the inbound, and he is whistled immediately.
And there's no question as the first half come to an end, what you see is really high quality basketball from guys who really want to be here, enjoy this stage, and is putting on a show for all of us.
It's hard to believe 3 seconds will be 16 minutes away from this camp winding down. Just a fast weekend here in Chicago.
Indeed. It's a dizzying pace. You know.
Before we step into the half, what's next for the Basketball Without Borders and the NBA Academy camps? Where are you guys headed to next?
Well, I think that what you're going to see is that what we try to do is really integrate the camp where there is already a pre-existing NBA activity. So be it the G League showcase, the Final Four. This summer there will be a big opportunity as well.
3 at the buzzer. Bank shot. He called it. I heard him. Gene Montero from the Dominican Republic closes out the first half with a banker.
Montero, man, I love the spunk of this kid, man. He comes out and he is putting on a show, man. I love this. When you have an opportunity, when you have a state.